give it another one just for fun. Cool. Cool. So now we're putting the battery on. We've had the battery charged and cleaned. Now we're putting it back in and hooking the wires back up. White is ground, goes to negative. And hooking up the solar, which is the same, white to negative. You know, there's only one thin wire for the positive. I don't understand that. Seems like it ought to be a bigger wire. I'm going to put a small wrench on these and tighten them. Small wrench. Propane tanks have a tare weight, TW, and a weight. This is 16.6 pounds. That means when it's empty, that's how much that will weigh. I like to, at the beginning of the year, weigh my things so I know how much is in them. And then it weighs 16.8 pounds. So that's empty. I need to fill that before I go anywhere. This one says 32.2 pounds. So that's missing a little, but not much. And this is empty. So I'll fill this one, and I don't know if you noticed, but I only have one hose for propane. And generally speaking, I have an active tank and a reserve tank that when the active tank runs out, I just switch it over to the reserve. I just unscrew it and screw it back in, screw it in the new one. I don't have a valve that switches automatically. On a cold winter's night, that can be an issue, but not any other time. These are the stabilizers. They're not really leveling jacks. They're just stabilizers. And they have a big long screw that goes through them. And I like to grease that up so that they work well. Let me get the drill. I don't want to wreck my garage, but so there's nothing there you can see to oil, but if you look down up underneath here, there's this screw, and this screw I usually shoot with some grease or some oil, and it might need it once or twice a year, but if you want these to run nice and easy, especially if you're using a really cheap drill like I do, it's got to be oiled or it doesn't work very well. So this is a good looking tire. It's in good condition, even wear across the tire. But let me show you something. There's the DOT date this tire was manufactured. It was manufactured in the 18th week of 2006. Today is March 2016. This tire is over 10 years old. And while this is in good shape, it's got nice rubber. It's an old tire. So make sure your tires aren't too old. And if they are old, make sure they're in good shape. Not cracked, not split, not falling apart. Check your tire's air pressure. Make sure it's where it should be. These tires should be at 50 pounds. They're low because the winter they've lost air. I got to fill them up. As if you've got one of these hubs. This is just a hub cap, a decorative hub cap, but if it's got this little thing in it, there's another cap inside there. And if you take that one off, and inside that is your grease fittings. And that's a little grease nipple that you can pump a little bit of grease in there. You can take a grease gun and put on that nipple. Make sure you're all the way on. It goes on hard. If you pump too fast or too hard, it just comes out the back. There's a seal in the back of the axle, so it's got to pump all the way through. And then the real bitch is getting this thing back on there. Something else a lot of people don't know is these are caps. These just come off. Since you only get flat tires in the rain, I carry one of these in the trailer. My trailer does not have brakes, but if you have brakes, you could look at them. But if you're like most places, you'll have to have it inspected, and they might inspect your brakes. So this is sharp. To do this, you're going to cut your fingers. But I pull out some grease and I look at it. And if it's nice, solid grease, I'm okay with my bearings the way they are. I'm not gonna. I pump a few shots in it with the grease gun, and I just use regular lithium bearing grease from the auto parts store. It's nothing significant. You gotta get this little thing back in there, which is a pain in the butt even with the wheel off. Here we go. And make sure you have one of these, because we have seen them without at the rallies. They're missing this whole cap. This cap protects your bearing from dirt and dust and everything and holds in the grease. But the other thing you can look at is if you look at this angle. This angle is at 15 degrees. Sometimes they're level, 0 degrees, and sometimes they're at 12. Mine was up here at 12, and I figured that meant it was dead. But you should have good range on that. And I'm going to leave that cap on there just for no real good reason. You can take this off, though. If you want, you can take this off and put this on like that. But I kind of like it. I think it adds a little protection. And I'm not worried about my brakes overheating because I don't have brakes. The other thing I do on all my vehicles, whenever I put lug nuts back on, I just put a drop of oil. This is 10W40 or 10W30 motor oil in a can. I just put a drop on each screw because they do have a tendency to rust. Makes a huge difference getting them on and off. Can't get to the bottom one. Yes, I can. And that just helps get them on and off. And you do an X pattern. There we go. Now put the caps on. You can see how much those bolts stick out. It's good to have a deep socket. This is not a deep socket. It's better to have a deep socket for putting these on and off. And I actually carry another socket in a breaker bar in case this runs out of batteries. So I'll do that on the other side now. So folks, I think we're done with the basic getting the trailer ready. I haven't done the water. The truth is the trailer is still in my garage and it's too cold out still to do water. But I wanted to get this done. It's Easter weekend and I think it's going to warm up and I'll probably do the water, so I'll do another video with how I flush the water out and sanitize the water system and all that. So keep an eye out for the second video, but hopefully this is good for right now, giving you a couple of things to do. Make sure your trailer's ready for safe travel in the coming camping season. The only other thing that I might recommend, and again, all of these things could have been done in the fall as opposed to the spring. I like to do them in the spring so I'm positive how good the camper is before I leave. But pulling the doors off your fridge and cleaning out in back of that and making sure there's no animal or insect nests, pulling your furnace front off and doing the same to that. Some basic cleaning stuff might be other things that I'll be doing, but I don't think I'm going to put those into a video. Cleaning the windows, getting the nose prints off the windows, which have been hardened on all winter long, so they're going to be a lot of fun to get the nose prints off. Who put nose prints on the windows, huh? Come here. Yeah, you did. You did. You had nose prints on the windows. You guys ready to go camping? You ready to go camping? All right. I'm going camping soon. Okay, go. All right, we'll see you in another video.